hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending before this jury today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please state your name.
Pamela Hamby,
Ms. Hamby, how old are you?
47.
And do you have any children?
Yes.
How many?
7.
Is Cortney Bell one of them?
Yes.
Are you related to Chris McNabb?
Yes.
How are you related to him?
I'm his aunt.
So is his brother Michael, or is his father Michael McNabb your brother?
Yes.
Did you raise Cortney?
No.
Who raised her?
Her grandparents and her dad.
Nevertheless, do you know her?
Yes.
I'm going to draw your attention back to October the 8th of 2017. Did you have the occasion to be with Cortney on this date?
Yes.
And what were y'all doing on that afternoon?
I picked her up and we went to my mom's. She got her makeup and stuff on, and then we left and was headed towards the newscast at the trailer park on 36.
Okay. And when you said you put your makeup on, or she put makeup on, why was she putting makeup on?
She hadn't got ready she knew she had to talk to the news.
Okay. So she put makeup on at your mother's, I guess, would that be her grandmother's house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she put makeup on to get ready to go meet the news media.
Yes.
At the trailer park. And who was driving?
Lauren Mackey.
Who's Lauren Mackey?
It's my son's baby's mother.
Okay. So who was your son?
Stephen Hamby.
I don't think we have him on the flow chart here. Let's see. I'm not gonna, I think this is a dry erase board, but I'm not sure. I've got a family tree symbolating in case you wonder what I'm talking about. His name is Stephen with a P or a V?
P.
Okay. So Stephen Hamby is who now? That's Lauren Mackey's baby's daddy? Mm-hmm. Okay. So how old is Lauren, give or take?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you have grandchildren by her?
Mm-hmm.
How many?
One alive and one passed.
Okay. So she was driving, and who else was in the vehicle?
Her son,
And what's his name?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Okay. And who else?
Me, Cortney, and Chris.
Okay. And where were y'all coming from? What part of the county were y'all coming from going down to the trailer park to meet the news?
On the access road at Riverside Park.
Okay. Do you remember where everybody was seated in the car?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where was that?
Chris behind me, Cortney in the middle, Jeremiah in the car seat, Lauren driving, me in the passenger.
So you were in the front passenger seat, and Chris was behind you, and who was in the middle?
Cortney beside him.
Do you remember what Lauren was driving back then?
I don't know the name of the vehicle or anything. It was white SUV though.
Okay. If I told you it was a Nissan Murano crossover 2008 or 2009 model, does that sound about right?
Sounds right.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibits number 68 and 69. I'm showing you photographs of cars. It's not her actual car, but does this look like Lauren Mackey's car? What it would have looked like back then?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Your Honor, I'd offer States 68 and 69 into evidence.
Mr. Carter? Admitted without objection, each exhibit.
Okay, so just to be clear, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Ms. Hamby, 68. And can you point, I think if you just take your finger and draw like on the screen, it'll show me where, put a P where you were sitting in that car. Do you see your screen? It may not be on animation. There you go, try it again. There you go. All right, now put a L where Lauren was. Okay, and then where's Cortney.
This is Chris, this is Courtney, and this is Jeremiah.
Did y'all hear that?
No.
On the left, she said that's Chris. That second C in the middle was Cortney. And Jeremiah is the J in the baby C.
Okay. So if we're looking at, on State's Exhibit 69, the back seat, we know for sure where you and Lauren were, because she's driving and you're the passenger, but on the back seat, from this rear view then, would it be the opposite, Jay?
Chris would be here,
Mm-hmm.
Courtney here, and Jeremiah here.
Pam, you have to speak up because we all can't hear you.
Chris on the very right, Courtney in the middle, and Jeremiah on the left.
Okay. And was he in a car seat?
Yes.
Okay. As y'all were traveling down the road to go to the trailer park for the video for the news media, I guess it was to do like an interview or something for the news media?
Yes.
Okay. Did y'all get some news inside that car? Did somebody call and relay some news?
Yes.
What was that?
That they found the baby.
And who was it that called? Do you know?
I think it was Courtney's Aunt Kim.
Okay. And was that a call that was on just Courtney's cell phone, or was it being broadcast in the car through the, I guess,
It was
wireless?
just on Courtney's cell phone.
Was it on speakerphone?
No.
So you couldn't hear what was being said?
I could hear a little bit.
What was the gist of the message that came through?
That the baby was found and it wasn't alive.
Was there any indication of where it was found at that time?
I think that she said in the woods.
And what happened when y'all got this information?
Just everybody just freaked out, kind of started screaming this and that, but I can't remember exactly what was said.
And where were y'all at when this call came through?
Pulling up to the red light on 36 at Marathon, McDonald's, and
Okay.
CVS right there.
Okay, thank you. You can return to your seat. Tell me what happened when that call came in. What after everybody started hollering and crying, and what did Chris do?
He got out of the car
And where was that at?
at the red light.
Did you help him get out of the car?
I can't remember. I told him to get out of the car because I was afraid that guns were going to be put on the car and my grandbaby was in there.
Okay, and why would you tell him why would you think that there were going to be guns put on the car?
I didn't know who was responsible for what had happened. You know, just thinking that if somebody might have done something wrong, that, one of them maybe had done something wrong and the guns were going to be drawn. I just was thinking about my grandbaby. I didn't want my grandbaby to be in the middle of that.
So your first thought when you learned that the baby died was that either your daughter or Chris killed their baby?
No, not that they, just that everybody might have thought that they did.
Well, didn't Chris tell you that? Didn't he say something to that effect?
He said that they were going to think that if they found it anywhere near their home, that they were going to think that they had something to do with it.
You, that night after Chris jumped out of the car, you went to the sheriff's office and were interviewed, is that correct? Do you remember this
Yes.
man right here interviewing you, Jeff Alexander?
Yes,
And do you remember giving a statement to him?
yes,
And that statement was recorded, did you know that?
yes,
And you actually had an opportunity for me to play that statement for you in preparation for this trial, is that correct?
yes,
And when you listened to that statement, as I pointed out to you on the day that I played it for you, you never told the investigators that night that you told him to get out of the car because you were concerned for your grandchildren. Is that
yeah.
correct?
I don't know why I didn't tell him that.
In fact, you stated, quote, Cortney, and they said they found the baby and started telling more details or whatever, and he said, they're going to think it's me. They're going to think it's me, and jumped out of the car. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did say that. and he jumped out of the car, but I told him to get out of the car also.
Were you trying to protect him then, because you knew that he had done the
No,
murder?
I was just worried about my grandbaby.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly, Pam, I'm really not, but with all due respect, you weren't even involved in your grandchildren's lives. I mean, you weren't involved in Caliyah's life or Clarissa's life, were you?
No.
So, do you want the jury to believe that this grandchild was more special to you, or you were somehow involved and you didn't even raise your own daughter?
Just because I wasn't involved doesn't mean I still don't love them.
Did you have any reason to be concerned about the police stopping y'all?
No, not at that time, because I don't think they knew what vehicle we were in or anything.
Well, then how were they gonna pull guns on you?
We were going to pull up to where everything was going on.
Did you not think that your or I guess it's your son-in-law and your nephew, let's see, it's your nephew and your daughter's boyfriend, but did you not think that it would be important when the baby was found for him to go there to where his child was found?
Yeah, but to go there by himself, he didn't have to arrive with us.
Why?
I didn't want my grandbaby in the middle of that. I just didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, I mean, the only way that makes any sense is that you assumed that Chris killed your
No,
grandmother.
I didn't assume that.
Well, then why would you be concerned?
All thoughts went through my head. I didn't know that if he may or may not have, I didn't know either way, but I didn't want to take any chance.
And you understand that what you said that night when you went to the police department was just, what, hours after this happened? Would there be a reason why you would have lied to the police on that night?
I just wasn't thinking about me saying, get out of the car.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty important thing, right? Like, you know that for hours, not only are the police, the sheriff's deputies, swarming all over that part of the county, but all the citizens are out looking for Chris McNabb. You know that, right? You knew there was like an hour-long manhunt for Chris McNabb. You know that?
After the baby was found.
Right, after he jumped out of the car. And you're not going to tell Investigator Alexander that you're the reason he jumped out of the car, that you told him to?
He didn't have to jump out of the car.
Listen to her question.
Listen to her question, ask your question of it.
With all that was going on to locate him, how could it slip your mind, as you said? I guess it just slipped my mind. I forgot to tell him that I'm the one who told Chris to get out of the car.
I don't know how.
Well, you told the police something very different. It's not that it just slipped your mind. You told the police that he jumped out of the car because he was afraid that they were going to think he did it.
I didn't say he was afraid. I just said that he said that they're going to think.
Well, what is a person who runs? Are they not the person who's afraid?
Well, he was running in the direction to where they found the baby. He wasn't running away from it.
He was running through the woods.
But it was towards the park where they lived. It wasn't the other direction.
But he was running through the woods.
He didn't have anywhere else to go.
You didn't go inside the Chevron station or the Marathon station and say, hey, deputy, come pick me up. Take me to where my baby was found, did he?
No, I don't guess so.
He didn't use that cell phone that he had in his hand and call the police and say, come pick me up. I didn't do this. I want to clear my name. Take me to where my child is laying. He didn't accompany the woman who just gave birth to his child, did he?
Questions that you have her on direct.
Overruled, go ahead and ask your question.
He jumps out of the car leaving the mother of the child that just gave birth to his child 2 weeks ago to go by herself over there to where the baby is found?
Yes.
Are you saying he was a coward or are you saying he's afraid? What
I'm
is
not
it?
saying either.
Then why did he jump out of the car?
I have no idea.
Did y'all have drugs in the car that night?
No.
Did y'all smoke drugs together that day?
Smoked a blunt before we left.
Thank you. Those are all the questions that I have.
Art?
Thank you, Judge. I'm Anthony Carter. Just have a few questions for you. Just to go back over, this is October 8th. the day after Caliyah went missing and the day that she was found. Is that correct? And you, Cortney, Lauren, Chris, and Jeremiah were in Lauren's car.
Correct.
Lauren driving. I think we've been through where everybody was. And Cortney received a call on her phone. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you said somebody told her that the baby had been found, and they gave her some other details. Now, was it apparent at that time that the child was dead?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, you said Chris became worried that they were going to blame him. That's what Ms. Zahn said that you said, right? You also told Investigator Alexander that Chris didn't just say they're going to blame me. He said they're going to blame us, meaning him and Cortney. Is that correct?
Right.
And he asked you to clarify that several times, and you said no. He said they're going to blame us, right?
Right.
Okay. And then you say that you told him just get out of the car. You told him just to get out of the car. Is that right? Now, the only thing that you didn't tell Investigator Alexander that night, only thing that you missed out of what I just said was the fact that you told him to get out of the car. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, Ms. Mackey's car, this model of car, actually has child protective doors on the back, does it not? So you had to get out
I
of the
think
car.
I did.
You had to get out of the car and open the door for Chris because he wasn't able to open his door. Do you recall
I
that?
think I did.
Okay. Other than forgetting to tell Investigator Alexander that you told him to get out of the car and that you had to get out to open the door for him, is there anything else that's different from your statement that you gave to Jeff Alexander that night and what you're telling this jury today?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any doubt about the things that you're telling us here today?
No.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Frost?
Thank you. Ms. Hamby, you don't have a particularly good relationship with your daughter, do you?
It's not bad.
In fact, you've got, what, 7 kids?
Yes.
How many different fathers are there?
5.
And you only raised out of those 2 of those, correct? The others were all raised by their father. Now,
Answer.
Yes.
but you're actually closer to Chris, aren't you?
No.
Didn't y'all have a secret Facebook account so that you could go behind my client's back?
He had secret Facebook accounts to keep from Cortney to talk to people, but
But-
it wasn't just me and him.
But y'all got together on certain occasions and
No.
had little,
Absolutely not.
y'all never had any?
No.
And you weren't doing drugs that night?
I smoked a blunt.
And you're not protecting Chris today, are you?
No.
Ms. Zahn?
Pam, do you remember saying that Chris said if they found it, I'll let you read that last line here, where it says, and he said, and read it in the microphone, what you told the police.
And he said that if they found it anywhere near the house, they were going to blame us.
And the it that he was referring to was his 14-day-old baby. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's all that I have, Judge.
Mr. Frost? You may step down.